don't know, can we?
Okay, mental
That
illness.
TikTok. That TikTok. Get the out of here. Maybe. Just maybe. Sorry, Linda. I'm just being me. Hello guys, welcome to the first episode of The Weak Spots. My name is Corey. I'm the host here for this page. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm very excited. We have a lot of great things in store. First, I want to make sure you guys subscribe down below if you're viewing this on YouTube. Second, on Instagram, make sure you like it, share it. And on Facebook, same thing, like it and share it. We want to get the word out there. We want to help as many people as we can to reach their best selves. Today, we're talking about anxiety. Ooh. And here to join me is one of my best friends. We've known each other since we were 3 years old, pre-K, and we've grown up and we've been through practically everything together. She knows all my business, I know all of hers.
And that's our business, okay?
I struggle with anxiety a lot. Like, I know that whenever I go into something new or something, especially in the unknown,
Right.
it gets to me and I freeze and I feel like I can't be the best version of myself. And I think for me, it dates all the way back to school and going into, classes with people that are really, smart, or like when we have report cards and it was not looking good and you had to take it home to your parents and I was so anxious, I was about to myself. All that to say, what is your earliest memory of anxiety? When did you first realize it?
So I would probably have to agree with what you're saying. It goes back to school. I would probably say middle school was when I first started to, I didn't know that it was anxiety looking back. But also looking back, I can now say that it was anxiety. But when I was younger, I would say I was shy, or I was kind of guarded, or things like that. But looking back, it was anxiety.
Right.
One of the first things I remember was like my 7th grade homeroom was all AIG kids, and I wasn't in AIG.
If you don't know what AIG is, because people watching this from other places, not North Carolina, I don't know if they have it everywhere else. It's just for smart kids, super smart kids.
Yeah, it's like the smartest kids in the class, like they get better, they get more help to get along further, I guess. That's not a good description, but it's basically how we looked at it as middle schoolers. So my friend Unique and I were the only kids in the class that were not in the AIG program. So I vividly remember going to Ms. Gore, my science teacher, and telling her, I don't belong here. Like, I don't think that I'm supposed to be in this class. I don't think that I can live up to the expectations that you have for this group, these group of students. And she basically told me, no, there's no mistake. You're here for a reason, and you're just as capable as these other kids. Just because you don't have a title of a program over you, you're just as capable. And I finished that class, like, I had straight A's that whole semester in that class.
It's crazy how anxiety makes us think that we can't be our best self.
It tells you a wrong narrative of yourself.
Right.
Like, you will internalize things or say things to yourself that are just blatantly not true, and that is the anxiety talking to you, your mind working against you. And that's a lot of what it is for me, is battling the thoughts of, okay, is this really how I feel, or is this anxiety creeping?
And I think also we think other people feel this way about us, when in reality it's just how we feel about ourselves. It's our mind, or some part, the parasite really that lives in us, telling us we are not good enough, that we should not be here, that I don't deserve a seat at the table, that people should not have made room for me to be here.
Or even when you do have a seat at the table, it's that constant, okay, I gotta uphold myself. Like, I do belong here, so I have to prove to everyone else, including myself, that I'm supposed to be here.
And it shouldn't be even about proving, Yes, I do belong here.
And that should be it.
And that's it. When that anxiety did arise in you, and when you feel it even now, how does it feel, like, physically? Because I know for me, I feel it in my gut. I feel it, like I was saying to you, it feels like someone punched me and it just lingered. It doesn't go away. It just stays there until I get some sort of resolution from it, or the anxiety ends up going away because what I was anxious about did not go as worse as I thought it was going to be.
When it's concerning other people, my chest gets tight. my upper abdomen gets tight, and I'm breathing shallow. I can tell that I'm not breathing as usual, and I can tell that my heart rate is up. Like my heart is beating faster. Butterflies or like cramps in your stomach, upper abdomen, and my chest gets tight and breathing.
Butterflies for me is like a good anxious.
Yeah.
Like when I'm like ready to do something. Whenever I like would perform on stage, or if I'm talking to like a crush or something, that's good anxious. I feel like good nerves.
That's a good point though, because there's a difference in like, so like going back to caveman times, anxiety was there as a protection mechanism for us.
Wow.
So like anxiety was an onset of, okay, there's a possibility of danger. And so you find safety, or you find food, things like that. But now in the times that we live in, we're not cavemen. We know where our next meal more than likely is going to come from. And the things that are giving us anxiety and stressing us out are first world problems type things.
Right.
And so that's a good way to look at it, that there is a good anxiety that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Like when you're singing on stage and when you're doing things like that. Like I used to lead worship at church, and I would feel anxious before going on church, but it was like a pumped anxious, like you said. That's completely different from, I don't even want to go into this grocery store.
And you not knowing.
I don't even want to have to see nobody that I know. I don't want to have to speak to anybody. Like,
but you're
like,
thinking
that's different.
And that's you thinking of that worst case scenario. And you said that worst case scenario can be paralyzing. I heard of people who struggle a lot with depression, who say that they get, bedridden and can't feel like they can't physically move because, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of their thoughts keep them there.
Yeah, their thoughts really can make or break you. And a lot of anxiety is figuring out, is that an anxious thought? Okay, what's the root of it? Get to the root, nip it in the bud. But if it's not an anxious thought, okay, then what is my body trying to tell me?
Right.
Do I need to get up? Do I need to be moving around? Have I been laying down too long? Have I been in the sun? Have I gotten any vitamin D? Things like, all those things are aspects that actually matter.
Yeah. Actually, we were all getting ready to go to the protests of the Black Lives Matter. I was so nervous because of what I was seeing on the media, showing about how violent it was getting in the riots, and I wasn't sure, being from where we're from, if people...
A very rural country.
Right, like conservative town. I wasn't sure if there was going to be some type of opposing side at the function. And so I was just very nervous, and I sat in my car, and I was like, I can't move my feet. I cannot get out of this car. Like I wanted to drive home, just drive back home. And it was really also at the time very emotionally exhausting time to be a black man, to be a black person in America at that time. It always is, actually. But when it was so heightened, it was really a lot for me. Yeah. And I thought to myself, I was like, you just literally have to do the next right thing. I just really calmed myself and I said, I have to be here. Yeah. I need to be here.
And that was you basically, you found the root as to why you were uncomfortable being there. You told yourself that you're going to be safe, that things are going to be okay, and you literally took it one step at a time. The hindering thing about...
And COVID too. It was the first time that I had been out in front of a lot of people in COVID, like since COVID hit. What do you do when you first feel anxiety creeping in? And it's not necessarily what do you do to deal with it. Literally, it's like, what do you do? I know I sweat. Okay. I sweat when I am nervous, when I feel less than someone or my situation. Right. I start to sweat. I've stopped. I'm sober now, but I stopped biting my fingernails. I used to bite my fingernails, and my mom be like, "Are you anxious?" I'm like, "No," but it was so unconscious that I've been doing it my whole life that I would just bite my fingernails and not realize that I was anxious. Relatable. But that's what I start doing. I start sweating, and usually people start blushing. No, I do the ugly version. I start sweating profusely, and it's disgusting. What's worse? What's worse?
What's worse?
Red blushing or sweating? Comment below. What's worse? Are you team blush or team sweat?
Okay, well, sweat, I feel like you could... Sweat, I feel like It's me, your arm. Like, just don't show people your armpits and like dab your face a little bit. Blushing, I cannot make that go away. It's there until I'm calm, or it's there until somebody's fan. Like,
So you team blush.
yeah, I feel like that's a little bit harder because
Oh, your team sweat. You have to sweat then blush.
I think I'd rather would sweat than blush
She
because
team sweat. I'm team blush.
unless you're wearing makeup and you blush, can't nobody see that.
Because if you black, they don't see blush.
That is true.
Do you blush, LaShawn? LaShawn is off camera.
I do.
He's in the studio
I
audience.
do.
You don't sweat?
I sweat like a pig, but
Do sweat.
I sweat a lot. Never when I'm anxious though. It's always a blush.
A blush.
It's always a blush. Like you can like start to see my ears turn red.
I'm picking at my nails, or I bite the inside, like the gums and the inside, like
You tear your mouth up.
I
I'm just being me. We can just be ourselves.
I don't know, but I sipping the tea.
She ain't drink none of hers. Look at her mug though. It's cute.
It's chamomile. It's actual LaShawn's.
Oh, LaShawn, this is cute. I like this clear and it tells you what tea is, like the definition.
tea, okay?
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna put your
I wish
tea
it
back
like
down.
I wish it had like tea gossip. You know what I mean? Like I wish it had
Like the tea.
And the definition was actually
yeah, like gossiping or
Like the
spreading
tea.
information amongst friends.
That
I
actually
wish it
makes
had.
sense.
that's good. What do you do to cope with your anxiety? What are the things you do to deal with your anxiety? Just two ways of saying the same thing.
Breathing is number one, most important, always, forever will be. When I noticed my freshman year of college was when I could start actually identifying my behaviors as, oh, I'm anxious, oh, this is anxiety. Like before, when I was in school before, like I said, I didn't know what to title it as.
Right.
But my freshman year in college, I really could start to see like how I was holding myself back from being anxious. So I started to look up like what are things to do, and breathing literally came up always, or number one always. So breathing is definitely my go-to. I'll automatically stop and just see, am I breathing from my chest or am I breathing from my abdomen? You want to breathe from your abdomen. You're breathing from your chest. It's like shallow breathing.
And I'm not saying like don't feel your pain and don't experience it. Don't be human. I think that's the biggest part of healing it.
Yeah.
Is feeling it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Snaps.
Wow. You know, a certain thing happened about a year or two ago, and I look at that time to now, and I say, I don't think I've really healed from it.
Yeah.
I think time has allowed me to understand life without it.
Yeah.
And I've gotten comfortable in that and called that thing healing, which really I have not done the work that I need to in myself intentionally. Healing is intentional.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Healing does not just happen.
Right. And that says you'll heal with time, which is true.
Time helps.
But it's kind of like you need to do the work too.
Yeah. Key things that I got were identifying
Things
what
you can do
the
to heal
onset-
your anxiety.
Yeah. Identifying it. And then you were just talking about
And be intentional.
being intentional and being practical. Don't make it this big thing of you have to have a routine every day, set in stone, different times, self-care at this time, reading at this time,
Right.
yoga at this time. No, has to be practical and fit into your lifestyle so it can be a new lifestyle for you.
Well, thanks for joining me today,
No,
Kristen.
it is an honor for you to have me.
We have a lot of conversations and discussions like this just whenever we're together on FaceTime or in person. So I just want to bring like our, connection and our conversations to a bigger platform.
Yeah.
So this is just literally how we are.
Reach out, like, to Corey or myself or your other friends and have
family.
conversations about this.
Just like this.
Just
Conversation
like
just like
that.
this. Don't take it too serious. Take it seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously when you're having these conversations. I want to make sure that you guys are staying safe, stay blessed, stay always intentionally working on yourself and bettering yourself. I hope this conversation has helped you in that journey to becoming your best self. Make sure, again, you guys like and subscribe on whatever platform you guys are watching. Share this with a friend that you think really needs it, could really benefit from it. And I'll see you guys really soon. Bye.